If you've ever said, I know what to eat, I just don't do it, your gut might be the one running the show. Today, I'm going to show you how your gut bacteria controls your cravings, your mood, your metabolism, and what you can do to take back control. Welcome to video 16 of the You Are Unburdened series. My name is Almira Hinton. I am the RN health coach and creator of the podcast Nurse's Notes by Almira, where you can find me on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, where you can listen and download. You have done amazing work so far if you've been following this series. Here now to video 16. And now let's talk about your gut. Your gut just isn't about digestion. It's home to 70% of your immune system, the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and the bacteria that literally influences what you crave. Now, the gut and the brain are in constant communication through the vagus nerve, hormone signals, and your gut microbiome. When your gut is inflamed or unbalanced, you might experience things like sugar or carb cravings. And that's where things like cakes and cookies and pancakes, because that white flour has been stripped of its fat and its fiber layer. So it's just like sugar. It's just a quick acting carb at this point. So that's why you might crave some things like that. If your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, you might experience anxiety. Those future thoughts, those what ifs, those things that when you have conversations that haven't even been had yet. Or you might experience low mood when your gut is inflamed or unbalanced. You might experience constipation. Now, being a nurse for 40 years, that was probably the number one thing that people came in and talked about. In addition to everything else, they had issues with constipation. Bloating also seems to be problematic, which can easily follow constipation because as that those foods that are stuck there in your system, they might explode and just not explode, but become larger and larger in your intestines. You might experience fatigue because everything is slow moving. And that's one reason why I've always recommended walking. It can help stimulate the colon. If you've ever had any kind of surgery before and you've been in the hospital and they said they wanted to get you up and walking around because they wanted you passing gas, that is the wake up call to your colon is to get up and do that walk. Not only is it a wake up call to your colon, but it's also a wake up call to your mood. Any type of walk for a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes can really help brighten your mood as well as get things moving through your colon. When your gut is inflamed or unbalanced, you might have a slowed metabolism where things just aren't getting absorbed and taken care of like you should. They're sitting there and not moving through. You might feel emotionally reactive and have impulsive eating when your gut bacteria is inflamed or imbalanced. So this just isn't poor discipline. It's a chemical imbalance. Your bacteria are talking louder than your willpower. And something, again, where it can really support you is making sure that you're staying well hydrated and that you're getting plenty of sleep. So this all helps to balance that gut-brain hormone connection. So what damages your gut? Let's really talk about that. Antibiotics. Now, you've ever been on antibiotics where you really start to move things too quickly and you get diarrhea? Some antibiotics can really throw your gut bacteria off, and then you have the opposite problem, and that's not healthy either, because then your body or your gut doesn't get the opportunity to process the food, to absorb the nutrients from the food because it's moving through so quickly. So antibiotics can also cause a gut disruption. Another gut disruptor might be, or it is definitely, processed foods that have all kinds of chemicals and excess sugars and refined sugars in them that don't support the natural gut biome. They actually cause overgrowth or bad bacteria and undergrowth of the bacteria that your body really needs, these processed foods. And so that's where your fruits and vegetables and whole foods really come into play. Typically, if it comes out of a bag like pretzels and things like that, that's a refined food. That's a processed food. Bologna, things like that are processed foods. They're not in their more natural state. To cook a piece of meat is fine, but when it's been broken down and reprocessed, re-put together and put together with all kinds of chemicals and gelled, that is a processed food, all right? Also, artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame are gut disruptors. Chronic stress, again, we're talking about managing that stress, can disrupt the gut. In addition to that, poor sleep. Overeating, eating until you're so full that you feel absolutely miserable. That is not a good feeling. Emotional eating, eating when you're not hungry, when you're angry, when you're sad, even when you don't know you're eating, when you're sitting in front of a computer or a TV and you're just taking in food, that is emotional eating and easily leads to overeating. All right. Every choice you make either feeds your gut or is a gut dysfunction. So it's so important that you know the difference between the two, that you take the time to eat properly, that you take the time to pay attention, to be mindful when you're eating, as opposed to just intaking food just for the heck of it. Again, antibiotics, processed foods, artificial sweeteners, chronic stress, and poor sleep and overeating or emotional eating are some of the most common gut disruptors that we see around. So, if you feel that this information has really supported you or brought you some aha moments, something that you never thought about before, be sure and like and subscribe. That really supports me a lot. Send me your comments. Put your comments in the comment section or DM me on Facebook or Instagram and let me know your questions. Let me know if this has supported you and share it with someone who you think this might help also. Also, if you feel like that I might be able to support you in moving to your good health and abundance journey, go to my website, www.thernhealthcoach.com, and hit that book now button. And we'll just have like a quick 15-minute discussion of what your goals are for your health and to see if I might be able to support you with getting there. Remember, some of the most successful people have mentors, not just for business, not just for athletics, but for life and getting healthy. So check that out. So, how to heal your gut so that you crave less. Let's talk about that. Fermented foods. Now, I know you've heard about kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir. Those are all fermented foods, and that can help get your gut healed and back into a normal, healthy state. Adding prebiotics like natural things like onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, and dandelion greens, those are all good prebiotics to help get your gut biome back into the normal processes again. Removing processed sugar for just 5 to 7 days. Remember, I have a 1 week detox that eliminates sugar, gluten, and dairy for a week to help get you back on track and get you reset. Now, if you're interested in something like that, send me a DM, and you don't necessarily have to sign up for a class. I have it as a private podcast if you want to do the 1 week detox to get your gut biome, to get your body reset and get those cravings under control. Also, drinking filtered water that can support detox pathways, eliminating those unnecessary drinks. I don't care if they're diet, they still have chemicals in them. So drinking filtered water can support getting rid of cravings and resetting your gut biome. Having a good regular practice of meditation or even breath work to soothe that vagus nerve so that you can calm down and de-stress, all right? And if you're doing meditation or self-hypnosis, then you're already ahead because the gut responds when the nervous system feels safe. Have you ever had that time when you were so scared about something and you had to go to the bathroom because everything in your gut just started releasing and wanted out, that's obviously a part of that nervous system and gut behavior that you can see it in action for yourself, particularly when you're afraid or when you feel not safe. The gut tends to open up and let you know that, hey, things aren't working well. That's that gut and mind or gut and brain having that conversation. All right. So, your reflection for today: what is one craving that you experience most often? And what deeper need or imbalance could it be pointing out? What could that craving be pointing out to you? Be sure and put that in the comment section so we can have a conversation about that also. And if you haven't downloaded your companion guide to this 30-day Unburdened series, be sure and reach out and I can send that to you directly. Now, Video 17, we're going to be talking about emotional eating in depth, how it forms, how it's connected to identity and traumas, and how to break free from that. Remember, your gut is not broken. It's simply reflecting how burdened or unnourished it is, and we can fix that. Every choice you make today is a vote for healing. Thank you so much for allowing me in this journey and for listening to me. Again, www.thernhealthcoach.com. Book that time together so we can get you on your get healthy journey. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you very soon. See you on day 16. Bye bye.